Hi everyone, it's Brian here. Today I'm going to be talking about the total physical response and total response by storytelling. This could be found on page 28. So for the first total physical response, some of the steps are to choose vocabulary to physicalize, choosing vocabulary that will be used in the classroom, such as directions, parts of the body, and words. For older students, you can use vocabulary words that are more current to the lesson. You could also introduce vocabulary more gradually. You can give a command to a physical activity. For example, you could say stand up. Accompanied by standing up, you can motion the student to do it with you. After you introduce different commands, you can randomly alternate them. Another thing is you can drop the physical modeling. After the students practice commands, you model with them. Once they appear to know what you're doing, drop the demonstration and have them just do the verbal commands. And you could also add additional commands, but not more than 3 at a time. You should always start the demonstration when using a new command and practice it with students until they understand, and then you can stop doing the behavior. You can also add additional responses. You can find new ways for students to demonstrate their understanding of the vocabulary being practiced, using pictures, taking turns demonstrating commands. You could also use a variety of activities that will improve the student's confidence. With total physical response, it can be concluded in many lessons when reviewing new concepts. Next, I'm going to be walking through step by step for Tpr storytelling. With the basic Tpr, you start and perform an action and give its meaning. And you restate this and they have you respond and you have them respond to it. And you use just a few words at a time. And then from there you add a hand Tpr. Using gestures and hand signs can introduce new concepts. These can include a stroking motion, hands and wiggling fingers to represent rain. Another thing you can do is ask some questions that can be answered with one word, like putting a hat on your head, then ask what is on my head, a hat or a dog, and the student should reply with hat. This helps them build their vocabulary and confidence when responding in English. You could also start by telling mini stories and have students repeat them. Have them, as it explains, tell a story and have them pantomime the words. Another thing you shouldn't do is don't require them to repeat the words after the storyteller. They should be able to demonstrate and comprehend by acting out keywords. Give them an opportunity to retell the story when they gain confidence to do so as well. You should also teach the students to tell their own stories. Have them come up with them and just have them describe it with any actions as well. And make sure to observe your students as well. So an example of this would be if you're a teacher and you want the students to learn about the head, the nose, the chin, the mouth, you can act it out and go with them and point chin, chin, and have them repeat that with the motion. And then from there, you can gradually stop doing it until you can say it, and then they're able to point to it, or just in their head know which body part you're talking about. Another example would be if you're working in science as a middle school teacher, you can make sure that they know what each object is, and then you can demonstrate pouring or transferring liquids or solids into the test tubes. So once you're able to verbally say it and you can see that they can do it, you should be good to go. So as a future adaptive PE teacher, that's for PE for special ed, I would hope that I could use the body part example by having them, instead of just touching the body parts, or have them learn the body parts first and then incorporate movements with it. So you could say, I'm using my arms for swimming. I am using my arm for throwing. So once I know arm and then leg for kicking, you can just go from there. For the TESOL, I picked the pre-K to third grade students. One of them is observe and imitate motions of others. I think this is going to be key once I am teaching, because these kids will learn a lot from watching their peers do an activity as opposed to just me doing it. Also, uh, another practice, another lesson is use practice motion appropriately in class. I want to do this and make sure they're performing their exercises right, and just make sure they're being safe with it.